We are dealing with terrorists. We are dealing with domestic terrorists in the United States that want to kill Jews because they are Jewish. The Jewish community is not prepared for that. Post October 7th, the only thing that has been done in America are galas, okay, and excuses to raise money for things that don't matter. Okay, I don't understand why the ADL is having galas, okay, when people are getting the shit beat out of them in the streets of New York. Okay, the day after those galas. I don't see anything to celebrate about Jewish life right now in the diaspora. Okay, I see many things to celebrate in Israel because they're surviving and thriving. But here they're using the suffering of Israelis as an excuse. We're seeing the rise of the Jewish influencer who are not experts, who have no idea what they're talking about, who are talking about things like Kahana and having visceral reactions.
I read
You
something
know,
in the Talmud off the internet. I'm a
yeah, no,
Talmudic
I mean,
expert
like
now.
you had at the beginning of the war, you had Emily Austin go on Pierce Morgan, and she couldn't name the 1929 riots. I mean, like, I'm sorry, but like, this is not the time for brand building. This is not the time for Jewish comedians to be having their way with the Jewish community and lining their pockets with donation money. Okay, we have a very important thing that's happening right now. It's the destruction of the safety of the American Jewish experience. So, we have to say, is there always going to be a diaspora? Okay, let's assume the Messiah isn't coming for another 200 years. Okay.
Safe.
Okay, so is there always going to be a diaspora? The answer to that question is yes. Okay, then you have to ask, well, if the diaspora is always going to exist, what type of diaspora is going to exist? And you have to say, is it going to be a strong one or is it going to be a weak one? Okay, the answer that you're obviously going to give is a strong one, right? So then you have to answer the question, what is a strong diaspora?
Mhm.
Which is something that Jewish leaders have not asked, not have the balls to ask, and for their millions of dollars that they're all compensated for, we're not able to even bring up post October 7th. Okay, who were not able to prepare college students for what we saw over the last 2 years on campuses, who turned a blind eye to the gradual change that led to the reality that we're living in right now. Okay, if we do not embrace Hebrew immersion and self-defense for the Jewish diaspora, the Jews of America will have no choice to leave after the Trump administration at some point. Because Trump is not the Messiah. He's putting a Band-Aid on a lot of this stuff. He's also, because of how hardcore he's going on it, which I completely support, but people are going underground now, and the movement will go underground, which makes that movement even more radical. Remember, the most radical Islamists are not in the Middle East. They are in the Western world.
Mhm.
Okay. Which means that, you're talking about the Iranians willing to die. These college students, they're willing to die. The adults that
No,
are
there are a
manipulating,
lot who are just like useful idiots along for the ride. They're ignorant. They're
let
not
me
willing
tell
to
you
actually
something.
put their life
Let
on
me,
the
let me,
line.
let, no, let me tell you something.
There's some I
Useful
agree with you, but
idiots,
most of them are not.
useful idiots are always the ones who end up getting killed first because they have no idea they're in a dangerous place.
But they're not the
They
ones who are
look
going to
at
martyr themselves first.
no, but they
They're
will
maybe
be
they're
the
sacrificed, in some
no, but
respect, but they're not.
they will be the type of people that destroy public property. They will be the
Oh,
type of
certainly.
people that will be exactly. They will be the type of people that will assault people. They will
Absolutely.
be the type of people. There's a huge difference between martyrism and engaging in violent
Yep.
activity. Okay, and we're talking about
Yep.
hundreds of thousands of people.